All right, we're joined here by Timbers defender and New Zealand international and recent World Cup goal scorer, Finn Surman. We'll open it up to questions. Who wants to start us off? Adam?
Finn, towards just a general question, what did you learn about yourself in these 2 weeks at the World Cup, and what was the highlight outside of the goal, obviously?
What did I learn? I think I just learned that I can compete with some players at the top of the world. I still think there's a lot that I can get better at, and that New Zealand we can improve on. But I think overall, I'm pretty pleased with kind of how some things went at the tournament. I think that I don't believe the gap's too big between both myself and the players that we played against, but also New Zealand and the countries we played against. And my highlight, I think the highlight was just the atmospheres and that. I think that, not so much just the atmospheres, but just the whole event of it. You know, the atmosphere, the kind of stress of it, the good and the bad stress. It was something that just creates a feeling that is so much fun to play in. Yes.
When you first signed for Portland back in 2024, you immediately went to go play in the Olympics. Now that you've been here a couple of years, you now play in the World Cup. What were the bigger differences between both of those competitions now that you've played in both?
Yeah, I think that one is the biggest difference is one is a kind of age group thing where there's, a lot of younger players and players with less experience, and then the World Cup is just the best of the best. And I think that's, brings different challenges, it's just higher level, higher quality, and more intense games. I really enjoyed the kind of all tournaments are different to like international football, but the senior men's World Cup tournament was super special to be a part of, and just the way that it's played is different to how very different to how club games are played, but even different to how international friendlies are played. So I found that a really cool learning experience.
I'm going to go with two. I'll just give you one and let you answer the first one. I don't know if you can talk about this. I'm not big in the international scene, but any jersey exchanges with anybody after games?
We played against England in a friendly, and I swapped with Ezri Konsa from Villa, so that was pretty cool. He's one player I like to watch. That was a cool moment. And I swapped with one of the Belgian centre-halves at the end of the game, which is cool.
Well, you bring up Belgium. U.S. is playing them tonight. What's your scouting report on Belgium?
I think they're a good team. I think that they've been not unlucky, but they've kind of 2-0 down against Senegal, showed some great character to come back and win, and they scored a lot of goals throughout the group, particularly against us. But I think the results against Egypt and Iran that they had, some people maybe kind of forget how good they are and how good of results that was for those other two countries. So they're going to be a good team, and it's going to be a good game to watch tonight.
Just going to move this.
Timber fans and media sort of speculate a lot about your future. I'm sure you think about it as well. But after playing on the biggest stage and playing against some of the world's best, in which you said you were able to handle, what do you kind of see the next 2 to 3 years for yourself as, and kind of pushing yourself forward?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I've always said that I've wanted to test myself at the highest level I can, whether that's here. I want to play here for as long as possible. If that's somewhere else, then I want to push myself to do that and try to do good things there. Kind of leave that stuff up to my agent and up to the club and that sort of stuff. Try not to think about it. It's impossible not to, because, like I said, I do have my aspirations. But no, I think that those sort of things happen in time. There's a lot of things that have to happen in order for players to move or that sort of stuff, or new contracts or whatever it is. There's a lot of stuff that has to happen, and so. Kind of just wait and see what happens. I'm happy here. I've always said I'm happy here, and see what happens in the next, how long you say, 2 or 3 years.
Talk us through what reintegration's been like into the team. Obviously some changes. Phil Neville no longer here. What's been kind of the reintegration process for you, and what have you learned here since you've been back?
Yeah, it is as sad as it is to be away from the World Cup and to have come out of the tournament. I think I'm very lucky that I come back to a place like this where I'm super supported by the staff and I have amazing teammates. So, I did miss them a little bit when I was away. So I think on Monday I come in just to say hello and get checked up and that sort of stuff, and then had a little bit of time off last week, and then back into training today. No, it's good. I think I'd say all the feedback that I've had from players is that training's been really good and people are really enjoying the training. And I think that's such a positive thing, especially with all the changes that have kind of been going on. And I think the boys had a nice break, and I think you kind of re-energized, and that's a good thing. And so it's great to be back with them and training it's just good.
Aside from the goal, which player did you most enjoy going up against during the 3 games that you played at the World Cup?
Yeah, I do think that against Egypt was a really fun game to be a part of. Again, results didn't go well, but I think that, especially in that first half, I was up a lot against Omar Marmoush, and that was such an awesome challenge for myself. And, it was difficult. It was really difficult. He's so fast, so silky, and you kind of I know he's fast, but they just move faster than you think they will. They're so efficient with that sort of stuff. And so that was a really awesome challenge to play against him. He's probably the one that I was up against directly the most. And so that's probably my highlight player to play against.
All right. Well, these guys have said other than the goal. Tell me about the goal. Yeah. Did the team talk about, was there going to be any celebration, anything like that was planned before or ahead of time before that match, anything like that? And then just kind of, were you able to in that moment or after the match be like, scored in the World Cup?
No, it's a pretty mad feeling. It's something that I'm still kind of like, when people say it is a pretty awesome thing. Everything happened kind of slow motion as the set play was happening, and then when it went in the back of the net, then it was just a blur. No real celebration planned. I see it hit at the back of the net, and then I got people grabbing me and yelling at me, and so I'm just yelling back, and I thought I should run to the corner and go see Tim who crossed it in. But it's just nice team celebration. Got slapped on the head too many times, but there's a moment that I'll never forget, so it's pretty special.
What does this moment sort of mean for Michael Boxall, someone else that's in MLS? I've talked to him about you a few times. He's always spoken very highly of you, but to play in that moment with him, who has been with the New Zealand national team for so long, was it sort of special for the entire group to get him to that point?
Yeah, I think so. I think for me, someone that I've looked up to a little bit, especially in the last 2 or 3 years when I've been with the national team, and he's someone that he's a quiet guy, but he leads by example, and everyone kind of listens when he does talk. And so, to be able to play there with him and partner him for a few games was really special. And I think it's a bit of a testament to him and his career of how far he's gone and how well he looks after himself to get to this point. I don't think there's many players that at his age can compete like he does and can play like he does. So it was pretty special to be there with him and share that experience together.
Okay, we'll take some questions online. We'll start off with Aaron. Aaron, go ahead.
Hey, Finn.
Hello.
Congrats on the World Cup and everything.
Thank you.
As a player, maybe a little early to ask, but does this how was the experience? How's it changed you as a player, do you think, both mentally or anything on the field you think you picked up? You thought, I have to have this?
I'm not quite sure how it's changed me yet. I think that, like I said, it was just an incredible experience, and being part of those atmospheres and just the tournament as a whole makes me hungry to be back there, hopefully in 4 years' time. And we didn't achieve our goals as a country, so we want to come back and do that again. So I think, like I said before, the biggest thing that I've kind of learned is that I can handle that level and play with that level. And I know there's still things I need to do better and develop with, but I kind of got a taste of it, and it's something that I know I can work towards for the future.
Aaron, did you have a follow-up?
Yeah, one more. 2 goals now for New Zealand. You putting a little pressure on yourself? 3. Thank you. 3. Well, since you were a Timber.
Right.
Is it putting pressure on yourself to get one for Portland?
Yeah, there's enough pressure already. These guys joke to me and say that I only score for national team, so I do need to score for Portland sooner rather than later. It's not something that I don't purposely not score. I do try to score, and hopefully it'll come soon, and it'll come in the first game back.
Any last questions for Finn?
Thanks.
Okay, we'll wrap it there. Thanks for the
Thank
time,
you.
Finn. Thank you, everyone.